It's the old fella back, or if you're new here, old Mr. B, or whatever you want to call me. Right, now then, I decided to do this, although I've already... This is Sabaton, Christmas Truce, animated story video. I thought I'm going to do this because it's Christmas, and as you can see by my backdrop, you know, this really happened. And so I'm just thinking, well, let's do it. I don't know about this. I know I've reacted to the song, but this will be interesting to see, because I mean, you know, we don't want this to happen. This is how it should be, peace all the time, and that. Anyway, I thought I'll do this, so let's get them up here. It's a bit different to normal, but it's I'm doing certain things for Christmas, so I'm doing this one as well. So then, let me just get everything set properly. There we go. Let's get these on. And yeah, here we go.
It's the night of December the 24th, 1914, on the Western Front. The industrial might of the new 20th century has been focused into a war that has been going on for 5 months. Everyone thought it would be over by Christmas, but sadly such hopes have now died alongside the young men in the clinging mud and cold of the trenches. On the run-up to Christmas, Pope Benedict XV begged the warring governments to call a truce and asked that the guns may fall silent, at least upon the night the angels sang, but it was no use. In the trenches, sometimes just 30 meters apart, the men of both sides often shout insults to each other above the sounds of battle. On Christmas Eve, a cry comes over from the German side in broken English: "Tomorrow, you no shoot, we no shoot." The British and French are incredulous. Then along the trenches, there's a movement. But instead of seeing the sight of men going over the top, this time, pushed up above the top of the trenches, Christmas trees start to appear along the German lines, lit up by flickering candles. Is it a ruse? Could it be real? Could the regular soldiers on the front lines make a peace at Christmas when the church could not? On the wind drifting across no man's land, there's a sound of hope and cheer as Christmas carols are sung. The gentle murmur becomes stronger and is picked up by more and more of the soldiers. As Christmas Eve becomes Christmas Day, the British and French join in too. As the morning draws, there's silence. In a farmhouse a short distance away from the front line is 18-year-old Scotsman Alfred Anderson. He vividly recalled that Christmas Day and said, "I remember the silence, the eerie sound of silence. Only the guards were on duty. We all went outside the farm buildings and just stood listening. And of course, thinking of people back home. All I'd heard for 2 months in the trenches was the hissing, cracking and whining of bullets in flight, machine gun fire and distant German voices. But there was a dead silence that morning, right across the land as far as you could see. We shouted, 'Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas!' Even though nobody felt merry.
Silence. Oh, I remember the silence on a cold winter day. After many months on the battlefield, and we were used to the violence, then all the candles went silent, snow fell, voices sang to me from no man's land. We are all, we are all, we are all, we are all friends. And today we're all brothers, tonight we're all friends. Our moment of peace in a war that never ends. Today we're all brothers, we drink and unite. Now Christmas has arrived and the snow turns the ground white. Hear carols from the trenches, we sing a holy night. Our guns lay to rest on snowflakes. Our Christmas in the trenches, our Christmas on the front, far from home. Madness, how I remember the sadness. We were hiding our tears in a foreign land where we faced our fears. We were soldiers, carried the war on our shoulders. For our nations, is that when we bury our friends? We were all friends. And today we're all brothers, tonight we're all friends. Our moment of peace in a war that never ends. Today we're all brothers, we drink and unite. Now Christmas has arrived and the snow turns the ground white. Hear carols from the trenches, we sing a holy night. Our guns lay to rest on snowflakes. Our Christmas in the trenches, our Christmas on the front, far from home.
There were many matches along the lines that day, some with proper footballs, some with bully beef cans, some were disorganised scrambles for the ball. Robert Graves reported that in his match, the Germans won 3-2. The Argyll and Southern Highlanders reported their match ended 4-1 to Scotland. An estimated 100,000 men took part in the Christmas Truce. As the men moved back to their trenches, Captain Charles Stockwell took it upon himself to fire 3 shots skyward. He raised a flag upon which was written, "Merry Christmas." His German opposite raised a flag that read, "Thank you." The 2 men then stood on the ramparts and saluted each other. Alfred Anderson, the young Scotsman, survived the war and lived to the age of 109. He said of the end of the truce, "The silence ended in the early afternoon. It was a short peace in a terrible war." But one of the most remarkable quotes comes from a young soldier who, despite being away from his family for the first time, said of the events on that day, "I wouldn't have missed it for the most gorgeous Christmas dinner in England." A Merry Christmas from everyone at Yarn Hub, and the final words go to the members of Sabaton.
Merry Christmas!
And Merry Christmas, Sabaton. And Merry Christmas to everybody. That was awesome. What they're actually doing. I'm a bit red now, aren't I? Maybe because I got out of the shower. But or my backdrop was making me look more red. But you know, that is a remarkable piece of history, and it really, really is. And this, to me, just goes to show about human beings. We don't really want to fight. It's just that in this case, we have to, they have to. We don't want to. You know, I mean, some of the stories that I've got, like my friend is Ukrainian. I've got German friends as well, actually Polish friends, and the story, I mean, his dad told me how he came to get over here as well, and I will tell that, and my Polish friend's father and that, and told me how they come over here. I will go through that story, but at some point to explain how they got over here. It's all interesting stuff. And you know, it's one of them things, but I thank Sabaton so much for doing this. They are awesome. They're telling the truth. Has it happened? No sides or anything like that. They are awesome, and the way they've put this together is fantastic. Okay, I saw the original one they did, and I thought, right, and now they've done this animated one, and it's fantastic. And it tells the story as it happened. And somebody that was there that lived through it. It must have been awful. And I know there was suffering after the war with because of all the gunfire, all the noise and things like that. But this, you know, obviously back then they won't sort of diagnose it as I don't think so anyway. But they went. We don't realise what they went through, what everybody went through. You know, irrespective of what side you're on, you're still going to suffer the same things, you know, and the same mental pain, if you like, and whatever. It's going to happen, and this is it. This just goes to show. I mean, I think that's a genuine photo at the back of me, and if it is, you know, it just goes to show. One day, Christmas, that was it. They all went out and played football. Great, and enjoyed themselves. Obviously, the next day they were shooting at each other again, but yeah, who needs war? We don't need wars. We don't need them at all. They're pointless. You know, like I've said before, it's these people in power. They get, you know, power crazy, thinking, oh yeah, look at this, let's take it, you know, and it's the normal everyday person that has to, you know, that loses their life or has to go and fight for it. To me, it's totally wrong. It's totally wrong. You know, be happy with what you've got. You know, be happy with what you've got. This is the problem. You know, got so much power. You know, but anyway, enough of that. That was absolutely fabulous, and I've done this, and I'd like to say to everybody, very, very Merry Christmas, and have a really good day. And And Sabaton, I hope you guys all have a fabulous Christmas as well, because what you're doing is absolutely fantastic. And of course, everybody, thank you so much for all your support, your comments and everything else. You're all awesome. Have a great time. And of course, please stay safe. And this old fella will be back. Bye for now.